So before I jump into this video, I want to remind you to subscribe to this channel. We got tons of cool travel photography content on the way. What's up? I'm travel photographer Brendan Vanson of Brendan'sAdventures.com, and in this episode, I've got my New Year's resolutions in photography for the year of 2015. So for the past 5 years or so that I've been on the road, I've made New Year's resolutions, but I don't make New Year's resolutions the same way as everybody else. I don't really care about getting fitter or stronger or wiser or any of those things. In general, my resolutions have always been about travel. This year in specific, I wanted to get into travel photography related New Year's resolutions. So here come my 8 New Year's resolutions for photography in 2015. So my first New Year's resolution of 2015 is to get people more involved in my photos. And I don't mean hiring out a model for the day, but I mean more like impromptu. So if I see a really interesting subject, a local person, I want to be more forward at approaching them and asking them if they want to be involved in my photo, or if they want to pose for my photo, or even in certain cases if I can compensate them like a model for 20-30 minutes as they pose for various photos for me. It's a little bit staged for travel photography. I tend to go for more editorial, impromptu style images that are just more natural, but I would like to start staging a couple more images like that with local people at local sites. Of course, most of the images that I take are editorial in nature, which means I don't need permission or I don't need a waiver to use the images. In fact, I could just go right up to the person and flash a camera right in their face, and that's within the bounds of the law in most countries. Although, of course, there's the ethics issues behind that, and I don't do that at all. But one of the other things that kind of piggybacks onto my first resolution is I also want to get waivers from people in a lot of situations. In the past, I've just shot people or I've asked their permission and I've left, and it kills the image in terms of a sales standpoint for commercial use. Yes, I can sell it as editorial content, but if I get a signature on a waiver, I can use that as commercial content as well. So that's a big goal for me in 2015, is getting some waivers signed from some models that I stage in different locations around the world. So my second New Year's resolution in photography is to put myself in more photos. And I don't mean pulling the trigger on more crazy selfies or doing things like that, or just standing in front of a building like a tourist or anything like that, but I mean using myself more as a model. Quite often I'll see a scene and I'll think, wow, this image would be great if it just had a little bit more of a human perspective, or a little bit of a person in the image to give it some scale to the size of the canyon or the mountains or the lake or anything like that. So I have a model with me at all times myself, so I'd really like to get myself into more photos in 2015. New Year's resolution number 3 is to build my client base even more in 2015. 2014 was a fantastic year for building my client base. This year I was featured in The Guardian on page 2 of the travel section with a huge spread. I had a Bing background. I had a bunch of images in different major media outlets. It was a fantastic year for building my client base. It's time to improve on that. In the past, I've been really focused on travel and getting images. In 2015, I want to focus more on networking, on building my client base, and on building relationships with different media organizations so I can get my work out there to more people and, you know, earn a little bit of money at the same time. Resolution number 4 is to stop skipping shoots. I can't tell you how many times in 2014 I peered out the window at about 4:30 in the afternoon and went, well, the light's not that good, and just skipped a shoot out of sheer laziness, or slept in past a shoot because I was just tired and I needed to break. And to be honest, in 2014 I traveled so hard that part of it was I was just exhausted. I probably traveled too hard in 2014, which meant I went to some awesome places, but I didn't capture as many images of these places as I would have liked to. 2015, I'm not going to make any excuses. I swear to it. I'm getting out of bed. I'm shooting as many days as I can, and I'm shooting as many golden hours and blue hours this year as humanly possible. When you're shooting as a travel photographer, you can't make it if you're only shooting 10 or 15 times a year. You need to be shooting 100, 150 different scenes every single year to make it in this game. So my goal for 2015 is to shoot as often as possible. Number 5 in my New Year's resolutions is to keep up my stock portfolios. This year was brutal. One of my micro stocks, which I use, which is Shutterstock, I didn't update until December. So basically I had the entire year wasted. And it doesn't seem like that big of a deal as long as the images are in the stock. But if you consider the fact that one of my images that I submitted in December has earned about $10 this month in micro stock, that means it could have been earning about 120 bucks over that time. And if you take that and you mix it together with about 100 different images, that's a lot of money that I wasted this year because I didn't keep my micro stocks up to date. I did the same thing with big stocks. I'm represented by Tandem Stock as well as a couple other organizations, and I didn't update again until December. So I wonder how many sales I missed out on this year because I was just too lazy to update my stock portfolios. In 2015, I've got to update that stock portfolio every single time I shoot. So number 6 on my New Year's resolution is about boosting my flash game. I haven't been using flashes basically at all in my 5 years as a travel photographer. I prefer to use natural light. Every now and then I'll use something to shield the light a little bit, or I'll use a reflector to get some bounce light, or things like that. But most of the time when I'm shooting portraits, I'm just using natural light. So in 2015, I want to start using a lot of off-camera flashes. The biggest issue as a travel photographer is room in the bag, and the cost of flashes is so much. You can't be packing around all the photography gear as well as light stands, as well as flashes, as well as triggers for those flashes. So I need to find a solution that allows me to carry maybe 1 or 2 flashes and 1 trigger, something like that, without needing all this extra gear. So that's my goal in 2015, to not only shoot more flashes off camera and on camera, but to find a type of gear that suits my needs in terms of flash. New Year's resolution number 7 is to sell out my workshops in 2015. 2014, as I mentioned earlier, was all about me. It was all about traveling, and I traveled too hard to run a workshop. I've run workshops in the past. 2015, we're going to have more workshops coming out. I've got 2 planned so far, one in May in Peru and one in October in Patagonia, Chile, and Argentina. So far, the Peru workshop is filling up quick. We've got 11 out of 12 spots already filled out, so I need 1 more person. You could be that person if you want. And then we haven't started selling Patagonia. We will start doing that in February. We're getting close to that, so that's exciting. I really want to sell out both of these workshops. That would be awesome. I learned so much myself running these workshops, as well as I hope I instill some knowledge in other people as well out on these workshops. So it should be fun. I hope you can join one of those workshops. I'd love to see you there. New Year's resolution 8 revolves around this channel specifically. I've got about 2,700 subscribers right now. I'd love to push that number to 15,000 subscribers by 2016. That would be unreal. I really started this channel more as a way to kind of help new photographers rather than as a business, but it's bumping right now. We're gaining about 50 subscribers every day. So I think that goal is possible with your help. If you're not subscribed to this channel yet, subscribe now. So that's it for my 2015 New Year's resolutions in photography. I'd love to hear what your New Year's resolutions for photography are in 2015. Be sure to comment and let me know what you're gonna try to do in 2015. There's a lot of cool stuff coming up on this channel still to come in the next couple weeks. I'm gonna be doing a comparison between the 6D and the 7D Mark II. We did a comparison shoot in Whistler, BC, so I'm gonna have a video from there. Also, I did a shoot at Horseshoe Bend in Arizona near the town of Page that came out awesome. So I'm gonna have a video of behind the shot from there as well. So be sure to stay tuned. Got a big US road trip coming up soon as well. I'll see you there. Peace.